can say the same to you. Hello! Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. And back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thank you for keeping your promise. I hope this isn't too overwhelming a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature was not when you're not accustomed to it. The hell was that? Come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. You don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Do you want to get out the way of what it says there, Monica? Can't see what it says there, Monica. Thank you. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yori shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that. I want to try and be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. God, that bloody cold. As a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Thank you, I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yori's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yori a little bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of a book. It looks like the same one she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. So we're going through this whole scene again. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have even noticed in the first place. I'm just rereading a bit of this, so that's the book you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped by the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean... I just happened to buy two of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious going on here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. Glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's very engaging and relatable story, so that's so. What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about a religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. The people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood, but the facility gets even worse and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and fixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit more of a spoiler. Anyway, really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? You already made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kind of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story... It's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Okay. The hell happened there? Okay. It's doing weird things again. When I let things like books and writing fill my... kind of forget to pay attention to other people, so I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. Why is it skipping that? Skip should not even be an option. Please stop me if I start that. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. At least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Don't have to, but what are you saying? Let me just get the book. Quickly retrieve the book. It's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah, are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to, it's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologues. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realise that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. We've done all this. It's never going to let me read those. You apologise a lot, don't you? I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? Slide my desk up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. Could check the... Check the dialogue history. Why didn't I think about that? Yeah, it's not actually there. Okay, so those bits of dialogue aren't showing up in the history. That is awkward. That one said something like, I enjoy bathing in your body heat. It's almost as if Sayori's trying to say something. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her... Oh, that was weird. Thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb and after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry, I think I got a bit distracted for a second. Glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm editing. Instead, I just assume that she's finished the page before me, so I turn. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter on over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about? Sorry, I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So, I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? Sorry, can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes. It's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. Stand up. Make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. Oh? I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. Yeah, that's a little blunt. Well, excuse me, it's not like I said it was bad. I just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically, it's not cute enough for your tastes. Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass. Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Uh-huh. Okay, we've seen this one. I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously, but isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it all flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realised. That's what it means to be a pro. Glad you learned something. Didn't expect it from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humour her with my last comment. I didn't really care how old everyone is, but Natsuki's feeling proud then I won't take that away from her. Having a good time so far? Yeah, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll learn to get past soon. That's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job. I was going, ooh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, no, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head, and it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologise. We still have plenty of time, so I'm glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright, Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims not to be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way. I see. Well, let's read it then. Have I read this one? Hole in Wall. I think I've read this one. When he wasn't looking at me confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see colour. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Okay. It's very freeform. Is that what you call it? Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. That kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. Yeah, something like that. Kind of nervous to talk about these stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper. Tidy it up later. Another way of thinking about this. If you keep your pen in the same spot, blah, 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 blah. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Going to hate me. We've seen this. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words of the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. Kind of learn to pick up on them. Recognizing new writers that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter and they fit the two together. Okay. Once Yuri finds a trail of thought, it's as if her demeanour totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together, and it's probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learned by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased though. Biased how? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry, it's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologising to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost Under the Light. This one's been read before as well. Tangles of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back. Sorry to have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all, but it took you so... Feck off, that did not take me a long time to read. Well, I just read the script. I usually think your handwriting is pretty. Also, I like the poem, even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems, not at all. Really glad you liked it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild, something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts? Usually the story isn't about a ghost at all. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it. But remember, the poets often express their own thoughts, feelings and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolic compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of it. I didn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you. Me too. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? She wouldn't be the first one to. It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I knew that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but I really didn't come out as nice at all. I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Omega did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Omega liked my poem too, just so you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. I didn't realise you were so invested in trying to impress our new member. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up. Maybe you're just jealous that Omega appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. How do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Omega started showing up. Sayori, where are you? Oh wait, yeah, you're gone. That's a little... This doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that, you really act as young as you look. Look who's talking, you wanna be edgy bitch. Do I leave this as is? Do I press next or leave it? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. Just saying, that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? Sure would be nice if somebody were there, but they aren't, so just... Yeah, it would be nice if somebody was there, wouldn't it? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Oh, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Omega hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly Yuri turns towards me as if she just noticed I was standing here. Omega, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. Too dumb to figure out the cutting things from the poems? Oh, Natsuki. It's giving me a choice and then telling me off for choosing one. Wait, I didn't even choose one that time. She's up in my face. What's the problem, Monica? Don't remember you being an option here. Why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay, that was weird. I'm going to be right back. Not sure exactly how long, but close enough. The music's gone off again. That makes me uneasy. Even more uneasy when the music was really quick. Anyway, be right back. Okay. We all ready to carry on playing Spacebar Simulator? Yeah, that's right. I can make anything sound boring. Anyway, they really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to do a little more I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway. Gross. If this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. Quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. You alright? I didn't mean it. I believe you? It's more of a what the fuck simulator. Certain words I should not say. Not that I can monetize videos anyway. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Omega, please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting's over, so you can go home if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so Please let me take that responsibility for today. Some games have repeated choices as part of their game loop. Only games like this that have choices that race stats properly deserve to be called a dating sim. Well, that's true. Kinda sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? Sorry for causing trouble. Whoa! What? You like completely skipped a section. Dark. Sunset. Okay, never mind. Sunset. Starscape. Dream. Death. Infinite. Climax. Pleasure. Horror. Landscape. Tenacious. Uncontrollable. Broken. Melancholy. Fear. Extraordinary. Hopeless. Why did I pick hopeless? It was there, I had to click it. Suicide.